Uh-oh.
We will walk the warrior's road
So
together
these
then.
guys have decided to declare, and look at my face here. I'm not surprised, I'm disappointed in myself because I left it undefended for one fucking unit. One unit. I needed one unit to get a full stack, and I could not stop thinking about how great my army was gonna be. And they came. In the darkness of night, they invaded our lands, and they want us to call Pergamon for help. But Pergamon doesn't fucking matter, they can't get there. So my first thought is, fuck, I can't retreat and I don't want to lose this navy. My second thought is, they don't have great units and they don't have a lot of cav. I can probably take out maybe a quarter of their army before I retake with that garrison army next turn. That's exactly what I'm thinking. A lot of Illyrian spearmen. That's good news for us. For every one pikeman, I'm taking out fucking 4 Illyrian spearmen. Especially without all the missiles and missile cav units flying around and shit, we're good. I don't think they had any missile cav. I'm just depressed that I put myself in this position in that moment, but I'm gonna fight it. You gotta step out on the field, gotta be a man, gotta embrace the Dalmatian, the Dalmate, the Blades, allied by the Raiders. We got Poseidon's Chosen coming up on our shores to hopefully rain fucking hell on these motherfuckers and defend this area, but we'll see how this goes. Immediately, I think I was thinking about docking these guys and using them to. We have missile advantage, so I need to really abuse that here. It's just tough because I have 2 units to really work with.
Orders understood.
I'm just setting this up as best as I can. Nothing's gonna really work here. They got that army plus another full stack coming in from a different direction, so there is no way we can defend this area. All we can do is try to put a dent in some of their units and get prepared for the takeover next turn.
By your command.
And with your mob units, when you're in these desperate positions, the only thing I'm really thinking about doing with my mob units is getting them out the way. They're really just meant to harass with my skirmishers, because they're like, imagine if this is boxing, my skirmishers are lightweight, right? The mob is like, those units or your levy units are basically straw weight, featherweight. So you really don't want to put them in any real reason to rout, because all that's going to do is hurt the morale for your army. You don't want to put them in any reason to rout. They're good blob units if you're putting them in the back of a blob. I'm just trying to get them at a choke point. Maybe catch them slipping if I can, but they're sending their cavalry first. Not problematic, but it prevents my skirmishers from going anywhere alone. So I guess it is problematic, but I like that they send in their cavalry first, because then I can just decimate their cavalry. And they're splitting their army up to attack us from 2 sides that way. They're going to do the same thing here, so I don't even have 4 melee units. I have 2 melee units and 2 straw weights, so. trying to get these guys there faster because we're already getting engaged.
Orders.
Should take them off skirmish, but I didn't.
Javelin men. At the double. Swingers. Javelin men. Understood. At the double. Advance at speed.
Okay, so things are getting interesting. I know I gotta move these guys into position too, so I'm trying to make them feel like real soldiers here, not like angry mob. But again, that shit is gonna shred. I need to. Let's just see what I do here. Let me not overtalk. Let's just see what I do.
Quick march. Advance at speed.
These pikemen will hold up against the swordsmen, and I think those are levies and swordsmen, or they're levies and hoplites. Yo, what's going on, guys? So I am back with another Epirus Total War Rome 2 Legendary Campaign episode, but it's a little different. The audio got super jacked up on OBS. I kind of know why, but at the same time, I kind of don't. Anyways, it's just for these next 2 episodes. So originally what I was going to do was just send a post out and be like, hey, y'all, the audio's messed up. But my girlfriend was like, you talk for hours with ease type shit. Like, there's no way you shouldn't be able to give them, another hour of audio, even if you have to do a voiceover. So that's what I'm going to do today. Basically, in this section of the video, I'm just explaining where we're at. From what I remember going into the episode, we were basically trying to figure out if we were going to go with fighting the guys up north, the Brusai or the Dalmate, and kind of figuring out like where we stand with this. This is kind of going to be interesting because a lot of the like the mini pauses and stuff like that, I'm not going to even remember why I was doing that, but I'll try my best to kind of get that across as we watch the episode. So I think what I was explaining here is that Macedon is an ally of ours, and we really, kind of want Macedon to be on the same level as us, and to have them on our eastern front is really good because all of our allies are east. So basically we're protected. So whether we go like south, north, west, whatever the case may be, we won't really have to worry about anybody necessarily backstabbing us on the east. But I did make mention that they do not want to have a military alliance. They don't want to have a defensive, well, they'll take a defensive alliance, but I just wasn't sold on it just yet, so I did not go ahead and take that. I just wanted to show they're playing hardball. And just take a look at the map here too, because if you see, Carthage is barely holding on to any land. They have Ibosum, which is that small island right off of Iberia. And that's really all they have to their name. Nova Carthago has Isle, which is right next to Carthage. But even Carthage is gone. Like, as the capital city, the Massalia have that as well. So a lot of things are happening. And I think what I'm debating here is, where do we want to go next? So we could go Gnosis. We could go south and maybe reach our way through Libya or Africa, because I think there's Punic rebels in Africa, which means we'd have an easy way to get a foothold in Africa and get some money. Because the Africa move is really to get the wealth that's in Africa at this point in time, right? That's what we're doing that for. From that point, I would probably march right through Syracuse into Rome. So here I'm considering, that pathway of basically doing something in Africa. An invasion plan of some sort, I'm guessing. And then back to Epirus. What I find most intriguing, though, is that I kind of already know I'm not going to do too much north, but I do have to get to Italy. So as much as it takes me possession-wise to get to the north of Italy, I'm going to do. But past that point, I probably just leave it be. Maybe have some buffer allies in front of me, if possible. If everybody in front of me north seems to kind of be an issue, then I'll take care of it that way. But here I am trying to kind of cozy up with the Massalia, just because I want some type of friend near me when I attack Rome. Syracuse is not really going to be that ally because they're more aligned with Rome than they are myself. So yeah, I'm just looking to see if we can do something there. But Massilia's kind of in a weird spot because they don't have any land. That's a huge problem right here, is that they don't have any real land. In a lot of these campaigns, Massilia will reach a little bit further towards Celtica a little bit early. Definitely expanding towards Italia as well. But in this campaign, they did neither. So I'm not really looking at them as a long-term ally, but just something as a bit of a buffer between the Arverni and Rome. And I'm really just considering my options here. It seems like the Liguria, whatever you want to call these people up north, it seems like they are kind of friendly with Rome, but at the same time, Rome is not too friendly with them. So it looks like that's probably where Rome is going to attack next. And that's pretty, notable for most of the campaigns. Rome has to expand in some way. And just taking a look at our possessions, this province in Thracia, or this settlement in Thracia, Navissos, this is our last settlement that we took. And we got a pretty good army here, mainly pikemen. We've got some Sarissa cavalry. And right here, I'm just checking the waters. I'm just trying to see what's happening up north. What are they doing in front of us? Because before, these guys right here were positioning themselves right against our border. And to me, that's, alarming. So I had to just keep an eye on them. Didn't want to see anything happen that obviously we didn't approve of. This navy, or this fleet, is going to back us up for this eventual war that I think is going to happen with those neighbors that I was just talking about. So I'm kind of trying to put them in position there. But I think I lose sight of that somewhere during this episode. But that's what they were there for to begin with. And yeah, again, I don't know what to do with Macedon. I was heavily considering a agreement that would have made something in terms of like defensive alliance, or if I couldn't have bought a military alliance, maybe just settle for a defensive alliance. But I also know Macedon likes to get in trouble and fight a lot of wars themselves. So I kind of didn't want to get dragged into anything, which is why I didn't seal the deal on that. Checking the temperature of Rome here, because I know something has to happen, but I want to see where they really feel, towards us and how we feel towards them. And again, -5 is not horrible. -5 is not declare war next turn. But Rome will find its reasons when necessary. And remember, it has a devious reliability rating. So they're not really to be trusted in terms of making peace or keeping the peace. And I'm kind of considering here, maybe I just attack the Brusii first, travel down to fight the Dalmatae, and then maybe go into Rome. I'm looking at Italia as something that has to happen next. I can't really expand and leave the Romans to their own expansion because they'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I need to take out Rome before somebody else does at the same time. So time is kind of the essence for that. And I heavily considered just being very peaceful and passive during this campaign, because it's so easy to do once I take care, once I kind of quelled what was happening in Greece and take care of my relationship with Macedonia. I'm pretty much just sitting there. Rome is not aggressive. As long as I have a garrison, the Dalmatae, the Brusii, they're not going to do anything to me. Yeah, everything seems cool. Everything seems good at this point in time, right? And again, I'm just considering expansion attempts. Where can I expand to? Where can I get into? And I'm thinking this is probably my best route. Take these guys out, take out their southern neighbors, and then head to Italy. And these are good allies to have on the eastern side of things, like Pergamon, Bithynia, but they kind of are always going to be focused on their own endeavors. So they're not going to really be able to help us out other than to keep pushing east. And as far as Pergamon goes, I want them to take as much land as possible because we're military allies. So I get victory conditions for whatever land they currently possess. So if they keep taking land, hey, the more the merrier. And I'm glad to secure that relationship early. That's something that I'm going to be definitely happy to not have to buy out 100 turns from now. And now I'm just kind of surveying Rome's land, seeing what's there. Syracuse has a lot of land that I did not really expect them to get at this part of the campaign. It's kind of pretty early. But, you know, they went to war with Carthage at the right time and just took as much as they could. Carthage cannot defend itself. And again, it just is a bigger conversation. I think I mentioned it while recording this. Carthage just has no land. And I know when this game was in beta and the early versions of this game, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought Carthage had more land. And they put Nova Carthago and Libya in later because they felt like Carthage was going to be too OP. But there's not one campaign where I've seen Carthage really do anything or take advantage of anything. So I think that plan backfired a little bit. And again, just moving my fleet more towards Epirus here. Damn, I'm winded and it's only 10 minutes into this. I'm trying to remember like everything that I was thinking about at that time. So forgive me if there's like these blank audio spaces, y'all. I'm trying my best to kind of remember. I filmed this episode 2 days ago. So there's still some things that I kind of don't remember why I was doing. But I'm going to try my best to fill the gaps. So here, I'm definitely considering what to do with this garrison army, because that's the only reason I had this army here in particular. And I know I needed to kind of stay in the area because these guys up north, they have nothing else to do. Where they're naturally, the game will progress with them having to do something, right? We're that something. So I know I have to keep them nearby, but I kind of want to bait them into a war. I don't want to seem like the aggressor, and I'm trying to get them to declare a war, take that settlement, and then I'll come back and take it the next turn. And just taking a look at where we are politics-wise, trying to see if I'm in danger of anything. Civil War wise, I don't think I am. But I did do a brief explanation of how to get food. Let me see if it's here. No, this is just to educate. Somewhere in this campaign, I show you guys how to get food if you don't have any access to food within your settlements. Thinking about upgrading the gymnasium here just because I need to put this money that I do have somewhere while I'm kind of stockpiling it. So that's the thought process on that. And I might break this down into parts. So I might film a little bit now, then film a little bit later. Or record a little bit now, record a little bit later. Only thing is I don't have enough food to keep building. So I'm kind of like, I wanted to build that Temple of Zeus level 4. But the problem is it takes 4 food. I only have 8. And then I'm looking at the tax. I'm taxing on high. The land that I do have, nobody's really upset. My lowest public order per turn is Thracia, and they've got plus 80 in terms of happiness. So I'm kind of riding high on that. If things get out of hand, obviously I'll lower the taxes back. So that's kind of just what I'm looking at there. How much money I can bring in as I prepare for war. And to be granted, we have 3 armies, right? Excuse me. We have basically 2 full stacks, and we've got almost 75%, the way there, another full stack. And that army is a garrison unit. So we've got 2 armies. We can be very offensive, and get to attacking and handling out whatever we want to do as far as getting more land and getting closer to our goals. So we can do that. But we have to be strategic in terms of who we're messing with, because a lot of these guys are allied with each other. A lot of them have positive relations with each other. So if you invade one army, within the next 10 turns, you might have 2 or 3 armies at your doorstep. They've got marble and iron for us, though. So that's also something that we're really thinking about. And right there, I'm kind of just saying, hey, I want those 4 settlements. These four settlements that you're seeing in front of us, I want those. And then I'll invade Italy. Because Rome, again, if I invade Rome and I have to sail across every time to get units there, it's not going to work. I need some type of connection through land. You know what I mean? I need to cross the Alps, my own version in some way. And what better way than have land that's passively generating us income and friendly to our units. And I'm thinking about doing some scouting here with one of our agents to see, just what they're holding in all of their provinces. And my spy is in Italy, so I can't really do a reconnaissance mission. I gotta just send one of my agents out there. And this is kind of the interesting part too, is like my army comp is mainly levy pikemen. So I don't have a lot of official, my standard pikeman units yet. I haven't really replaced them out of my army. So to be honest, I'm not really worried. At no point during this episode did I mention that for real. I'm just noticing it because my garrison army has basically levy hoplites, levy pikemen, yada yada yada. These guys that I'm staring at right now, I know that either way it goes, I have to go to war with them. I'm just hoping that they buy me time and I can go to war with the guys up north first so I can surround their settlements. Because I know I have to go to war here. But I don't want to be, I don't want to be wedged between a rock and a hard place if I go to war with these guys first, then the guys up north, and then I got, Rome to my south or to my west. In this case, Rome's not really thinking about us in this moment, so I don't really have to worry about them, but it could happen at any moment. That's the thing. We're running a legendary campaign, so I kind of have to be mindful of things that I don't really need to be mindful of at the same time. Okay, so Carthage has basically just lost their possessions. They no longer can have a client state, as they don't have their own capital, landmass, anything. So they've been forced to live their lives on the sea, and their time playing Total War is practically come to an end. Nova Carthago is all that's left, and they still have that one possession. The Arverni have all of that land. And I'm pointing at the Massilia here because I'm thinking, why have you done nothing? Because now they're trapped. They're in between Rome and the Arverni, and those two guys are not giving you any chance at getting anything else. So the Massilia are pretty much landlocked. Not landlocked because they have access to the sea, sorry, but they pretty much cannot grow from their area without having to go to war with one of those two nations. And the Gaetuli and the Massilia are basically doing the same exact thing they do every campaign, which is gang up on the Carthago and Carthage factions, just because that's all that's near them. And they're the easiest to take out. It's very hard to defend that land. I don't really know what I'm talking about here, to be quite honest. I don't know what else needs to be discussed, but I'm deep in thought. So I guess I'm chatting something about the relationship between I think this is where I'm talking about Carthage not getting all the land it should have got. I think that's what I'm complaining about. I'm always advocating for Carthage. Taking a look at our forces again. I really do kind of think maybe I should have moved that army that's at Nevissos, and I don't know, maybe I should have positioned them more like we were going to war and trying to take what is that? Singadin? That settlement up north. Just to keep an eye on them as well. And those are pikeman units. I take that back. Sorry. I do have one levy pikeman unit in that army, but the rest are my standard pikeman units. And as you can see here, the Massilia have Carthage. They have Africa, basically. The province, that is. Mauritania is being held by the Gaetuli. And they also have the Nova Carthago possessions in Spain. And the Arverni just marched down there. That's 4 factions they marched through just to get down to that land. And yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about here, but I think I'm maybe mentioning something just about the natural flow of the game with how things are progressing on the map. It seems like Spain is going to be pretty stagnant. I don't think anybody's going to really beef with the Arverni or do anything to affect their foothold in Spain. Maybe the Lusitani. I have seen the Lusitani fight the Arverni, but that shit takes a minute. So I don't know. Maybe I get surprised. Maybe the Gaetuli are the trigger here. I don't know if they're going to be friendly with this West African faction or Northwest African faction, I should say. And I'm just eyeing Rome. I don't know. I'm definitely playing with blinders on for Rome, but at the same time, I'm also I keep mentioning it and mentioning it and mentioning it because for us in this campaign, like once we do take Rome, it really opens up that second chapter where it's like, okay, well now we're the dominant force. We're pushing through whichever way we want to get through. So really, I'm just eyeing what's in front of me, keep my eye on the prize, but I'm also playing a little pussy, I ain't gonna lie, because I should have kind of capitalized a little bit ago. I think I could have pieced out with Rome because they don't really hate us. So I think even if I started a war, well, who knows? Rome doesn't really peace out, so I take that back. And here I'm just trying to figure out my positioning. I want to scout. I had to go see what they had up here because they moved their army back. I needed to know if they just kept them in their city, if they were on the offensive anywhere else. Like, what are they thinking? But as long as we have our forces there, they're keeping their forces there, which is a telltale sign to me that these fuckers want to go to war. So I'm already kind of plotting in my head, like, okay, what do I want to do? Trying to figure out what I want to build. I'm kind of regretting building that skirmisher camp, but it's okay.
At your command.
I do the same thing here, so I just take all I'm doing is separating my agents and putting them on land to go survey the area because I don't have more than one scout. So I'm trying to figure out what are these two factions that I already said I'm going to go to war with. What are they doing right now? Just trying to get some reconnaissance. And they're both really kind of doing the same thing, except these guys up here, the Bruceis or whatever the fuck you call them, these guys, they're trying their best to win this war against the Thracians. So that's why they only have this garrison unit at Singadin, which is not their capital. But it is the capital of that province, and it's super well fortified. So I don't really want to attack it. That's what I'm telling myself. But I will. If we're, because to me, I'm not going to ever take an offensive launch on that settlement, right? So I'm not going to storm this bitch with ladders and tortoises, none of that. I am going to drag you out into the open field and we can fight that way. So that's possible. That's what I'm thinking there. But I'm definitely just trying to size everybody up, just seeing how this works, what's happening, what are the relations like for everybody, just figuring that shit out. And again, something's telling me like these guys are primed for the picking because I'm thinking about taking them out and then going south and continuing that way. I think the Thracians will be pretty happy with us once we do kind of get them out the way, and that might provide some type of, I don't even want to call it like a bolster or defense. It hopefully we can just fucking stay friendly. That's just what I'm hoping for the immediate future. You get too deep in this land up here in Gaul and Germany and all that shit, and it's just tribes on top of tribes on top of tribes. And you hate one, you end up hating like 6 of them. One of them hates you, 6 of them end up hating you. So you got to be careful with how far you stretch yourself if you don't have to. None of that shit up north is part of our victory conditions. So none of this that we're looking at up here really is part of what we have to do for this campaign. I could ignore it. The only reason I'm not doing it is because, again, I need to make sure I have land in between us and Rome. I did something silly here. And what I did was I went to go try to min-max my army and get the best units I could out of this settlement because I don't have them in Epidamnos. So I left that army by itself, and I actually left the whole city undefended. So to the guys that want to kill us up north, they're looking at our city that they were just eyeing 2 turns ago, and I left it undefended. So that shit right here was a mistake. This is not something I did on purpose. This is me being cocky, being arrogant, just thinking I know everything. Because I probably said it 2 turns ago, and I just did not care. I just moved my army back. So we'll see what happens with that move. So I do decide to upgrade the gymnasium. Why not? It doesn't have any diminishing returns, so I went with it.
Commander.
Okay, yeah, so I'm looking at my hoplites and I'm like, damn, we need some pikemen in this army. Because I'm still making this my garrison army, but I just want to bolster it enough to where I can leave it by itself and be confident. But instead, I left the whole city by itself. So I don't know what my logic was there, but we'll see. Then I got these guys damn near playing on the secret offensive, hiding in the bushes and shit, trying not to get noticed as we try to invade this land. I just chose the wrong time to get aggressive, in my opinion. I'm about to do a lot of aggressive things in combination, and I think I just chose the wrong time to do them. So Syracuse is offering us a non-aggression pact. I could definitely do it just to piss off Rome and kind of make them feel a little bit different about their friend in Syracuse, because they're always so quick to align with them. Let me see what I do here. I can't remember if I accept it or not. Yeah, I'm gonna counter offer. So I'm gonna ask for some money and take it. Cool. So I'll go with pissing Rome off in the long term. And that's just isolating the enemy that I know is gonna be my enemy by just making everybody else my friend. So they went to war with LaGuardia, which is a really good move for me because it means they're occupied now. That's immediately what I'm calling out. So now I gotta go see what resources they're putting towards the top of the map, right? What the fuck are they doing? If LaGuardia is calling for Roman heads, I know the Senate is thinking, hey, it's time to get some legions out there and get this shit done. But now the thing is, we're so close to Brundisium, I could just sail across from Apollonia and maybe take a huge part of their income right there. Because Brundisium, I think, is their, that Magna Graecia area, I think that's Brundisium. That is one of, I think, Rome's like second highest yielding gold provinces. I could be talking out of my ass, but I think I'm right. I have never been the guy that is good at tech trees in any video game, strategy games and all, so don't necessarily look to me to be right with the tech trees. I just go off of what I know I'm gonna need. Yeah, so I'm seeing the Iravashi in the land, so I want to know, like, are they fucking with them or not? Like, why is he have it? Oh yeah, so they're friends. So now I'm thinking, if anything happens, that's another enemy agent that's gonna be targeting my armies. I would love to know what's happening over here. That's my first thought. Is, can you tell me what the fuck is happening in your land? I kind of wish it was like Civ, where you could just, you know, establish a embassy over there and you can see what's happening towards the capital, but you can't. So I gotta send somebody over there. And I think I'm asking for military access so I can put some troops there, but he's just not budging. He definitely does not see the bigger picture here.
Your offers, but do not wrap them in lies.
Well met, friend.
Ready for orders. We hunger for battle.
Yeah, I want Brundisium. But the problem is, I just don't see that happening, because if I leave things how they are, I think I get attacked from the north. Point blank period. So I have to do something with these guys because they have no other choice but to expand into my land. The game is going to put us at war one way or another. So I could go and attack Rome, but what would that really do? I have to handle these guys, and I see it now. And I think this is why I got so aggressive. So here's the method to my madness. I'm seeing that these guys are at war with LaGuardia, the Romans, and I know that this is my time to actually strike. So I've been talking all this shit about how I'm gonna invade. This is my chance. While they're bothered up north, we sneak down south into Magna Graecia and knock these motherfuckers out. But I can't do that if I leave Illyria and Pannonia to these fuckers, because they're gonna attack my northern land in Macedonia, in Illyria, and in Thracia. And I'm not really sure what I'm talking about here, but I don't know what else there is to discuss on this end, but y'all know I'll be yapping. So it's probably just a game plan, just a strategic game plan of like what we're gonna do next. I'm committed to the cause. Rome is at war. They gotta fucking go. Yeah, again, apologies for the silence here, y'all. I don't really know what I'm discussing. This is, I mean, more than likely, regardless of what happens here, even what you see in this episode, the threat of Rome is going to grow. LaGuardia cannot hold them. Eventually, I think they'll have to go to war with the Massilia. And maybe the Arverni. Now that would be fucking beautiful. But I don't see the Arverni going to war with Rome. Unless they expand it too quickly west. If they went too far west too quickly, I could see that happening. But I don't see them having to face each other. And again, I'm just scouting with these guys. I'm going up here to see what he's doing back here. Nobody here. So the majority of their units are concentrated by my border. It's not a good sign. But I'm also looking at these units, like these little fucking levy units and all that shit. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna get it. That's not gonna get the job done against Epirus. But I don't want to underestimate them because these fuckers just shit out armies. So, like I said, I'm moving one army at a time in different directions, and that's not a good thing. Especially when you know where your enemies are. There's no reason to be caught off guard. So now I'm just looking to spend some of this money to make me more money. But look at my food. So a lot of these level 2, level 3, level 4 buildings cost, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 food. So you got to be careful because I could start developing this. I got the grain market being finished in one turn. That'd probably give me maybe 4 more food. So I go from maybe 5 to 9 in reserves. But that's still not exactly where I want to put myself. Because if I lose any land, I'm going in the negative. I got my food kind of spread out amongst my empire. As you can see, there's some in Larissa, there's some in Apollonia. Got farms everywhere. So I choose to level up the vineyards because it's going to give me some more money. Yeah, that's not worth it. Can I take the public order hit? And I think I'm taxing these guys. I think that's already been said, but I'm taxing them quite a bit, I think. More than normal, for sure. Because the happiness is just, it's there. They don't really care.
Ready for orders. Commander. At once. Gathering supplies.
Okay, so now I'm moving on the offensive because these are the guys that I'm deciding to attack first. And I think this plan is perfect. Outside of having the defenseless southern border, but I do like what I'm planning here. It looks like next turn is going to be where I make my move. Are the Iravici at war? Because that was a long ass turn.
There is good in trade. To walk through
I
a market
felt bittersweet
is to
about this.
understand
It's
the
like I
people
want to take
and
these guys
learn
out
to
eventually,
respect them.
but I also could use the money. But I choose to just keep the relations at a stalemate. So we got some food, got some 25% wealth from agriculture, +4 growth in all provinces for the next 4 turns. We appreciate that for sure. Sparta got finished building the grain pit, so that went from 5 to 8 food. That was a 3-point increase. A little less than we expected. And again, that's like 2 buildings to go back to 0. If I build 2 of these level 3 buildings with -4 food, we'll be at 0. So we'll have no positive threshold. And right here, I'm showing y'all what to do when you get to that point. So if you're running low on food, you just want to open up your character sheet, your family tree, and go down to intrigues on the bottom right. And usually you want to do it with the females in the family. And you can organize or send an emissary. Send an emissary. And what that does is it's going to give you A+ gravitas, and it's going to give you -2 loyalty for all other parties for 5 turns because they're going to be hating on you. But basically, it's going to pick a province, and you can pick it, and it's going to show you the food supply for each of those provinces, and you'll bolster your own grain supplies by just using money, if that makes sense. It's just a way to dump money. A lot of what they changed
Ready for orders.
with the family politics stuff, and I think it was like patch 17 or whatever, and one of those like last Rome 2 makeover updates type shit, what they changed a lot with that was just giving you something to do with that money, forcing civil wars and giving you something to do with your excess money throughout your campaign.
Give strength to our brave warriors.
At your command.
And look at them on my border. So I see it,
We hunger.
and I go back. I think I send him back, but what I don't do, I don't offer any help. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So we saw already they've got about 2.5 or maybe 2 full stacks plus some maybe 6 or 7 units right next to Delminium, their second city.
Sword is your order.
Which means I have my garrison unit plus my full, well, I don't even know if that's a full stack garrison, but I think it's a full stack I got right here. Let me see. So, yeah, it's not even a full stack. I'm 4 shy. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, if they do take it with that army, I'll come back and take that army out right here. So I get cocky again. Well, let me see. Maybe I'm talking out of turn.
We hunger.
Do I move back or not?
Commander.
I'm sizing them up. I'm thinking about it. My plan was not to fight these guys. That's why I'm doing this. Because I'm like, my plan was not to fight y'all right now. But he's moving into position. I'm thinking, can I handle 2 factions, you know, at the same
Greetings,
time
honored
and
guest.
still
I
be at
serve
full
as my
strength to fight
people's
Rome?
ears and tongue, listening and speaking as will please.
I'm kind of pissed that Macedon is not going to be in this fight with me. And I think I'm just going in on it like, yo, why the fuck are we not allies? We're best friends, but we're not allies. So I'm trying to figure out what that's about. Look how old Pyrrhus is getting. Pyrrhus.
Soldiering. It's a good life.
Yeah, I went with recruiting. I mean, it's a good idea. I know I'm gonna have to fight these guys. I just didn't think it was gonna happen when it happened. So I choose to just pick my best fighters and fight these fuckers next turn. I'm sitting on top of that border because I cannot recruit those units in that city that they're next to. And I'm just keeping my eye on Rome.
Swift and silent. A shadow.
Just seeing the land that they currently hold, making sure I don't notice any changes. They're friendly with the Arverni, which means that Rome, damn near, is kind of stepping on some toes by beefing with these guys, and I like to see that. Are y'all really beefing if you don't want to see these guys in distress 24/7? That's the reality of the situation. Rome wants us dead. We need Rome gone.
At your command.
Just more deliberation. I'm asking myself, do I still want to invade with what I see going on
Bravery alone is enough for our warriors.
in that other city down south? And I think I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I gotta make a move. This has to happen. Again, I'm feeling antsy because Rome is at war. So I feel like I have to make a move.
At your command. Ready for battle.
And let's see what I do. Do I bring them both in? I say fuck it, I declare war. I could call on Pergamon for help, but Pergamon probably won't get there. So I say fuck it, I'll fight this myself. I don't want to risk them disbanding our alliance. So they've got quite the fucking garrison army that I did not really want to run into. So I know I need help. I bring in my other full stack, and I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna dance. And now I'm just drawing their armies out.
And honor.
I'm assuming they have more than just this one full stack, even though they are at war with Dacia. Or the Thracians, my bad. So I'm like, yeah, let's fuck it. Let's run it right here, outside the city gates. Winner takes all. I want both your armies to come out, so that's what I'm thinking about now. I didn't see anybody here, so they have to be in that area. That's what I'm assuming. No one at your capital city, and just one full stack at your other city. I don't know. He's been sitting there for a minute. And they've been at war for at least the last, 15, 20 turns, maybe? Maybe 10.
The gods have brought me to you. An army
Commander,
without faith is no army
We
at all.
hunger for battle.
I'm getting ready for the war, but I'm also kind of curious because I don't see anybody else. I'm almost getting overzealous just off the idea that nobody came to their aid. Not stupid enough to go into their
Show
land,
battle.
but I'm definitely feeling like, yo, I want to fight this right now. And I like the fact that the chosen swordsmen are getting attritioned pretty badly here. So I'm just gonna hold the gate. Let the motherfuckers burn on the inside and starve. No reason to push this. If I go and try to scale those city walls, we will get decimated. Those chosen swordsmen are gonna stand on the. Oh look who I ran into. So this is the Irvishi, the guys that have been having that little agent just sitting there. This is their. I don't even know what you would call this. I guess they're there to back up whatever the fuck's happening. But I gotta see if they're at war. Let me see. So they're also at war. So they're there backing up their bros, trying to fight the Thracians. But it's just, I don't know. It's not gonna work, in my opinion, because look at what the fuck they got going on. So they got 2 full stacks back here just chilling. Then they've got their other full stack here. So now I realize, okay, I'm in deep shit. If they declare war while they're there, that's 4 armies I'm fighting plus their garrison. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it full circle. My spy is still doing reconnaissance, but now I kind of need him to get closer. I need her to kind of get closer in the area because I'm kind of getting a little worried. I don't see anything in Valathri, so it looks like Rome is already on their expedition to take over Liguarian land. I don't find shit there, but maybe 6 units in Rome. I'm kind of panicking a little bit, and I'm realizing the map is getting shaded to red. Definitely a red map right now. Not too many allies across the board. We got a lot of allies east. That's a cool thing. But out west, yeah, no, nothing really favorable. And I'm just trying to figure out where I stand on the global game before I make these moves. So I'm trying to send that fleet into Epidamnos to back them up just in case something wonky happens here on this next turn before my units get recruited. Drop some money on the upgrade. I should just retreat here. I really should. I see what they're doing. I should just retreat, let them come to us.
Ready for battle. We need good fighters.
And I'm thinking about it too. Like I'm thinking like, but even that move, like I don't need to wait for that 1 extra unit. I don't know why I did that. He should have moved into that city to defend it just as a deterrence, because they wouldn't have invaded. Don't do what I do, y'all.
For death and honor.
I was way too concerned about this, and I should have just abandoned it. And it's a bad spot to have to defend from, in my opinion. Specifically when we know we're not going to expand too much further. My apologies, this is very unprofessional. I don't know why I'm just on my phone like this. I think I do apologize for it, but obviously y'all not gonna be able to hear it. But I zoned out, got on my phone, and you know that dopamine shit, man. You open the phone up one time, slide through something, and it's just dopamine. So I got caught up by the dopamine bug. Yeah, definitely apologizing there. And if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Apologies again for the hiatus. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I got another episode brewing, probably loading up right. If this is already uploaded, that other one has to be getting loaded up on the YouTube webosphere for the next day. So hope y'all enjoy that. And I hope you guys had a good Christmas, good New Year. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope your year wrapped up well, period. Just in general. Uh-oh.
We will walk the warrior's road
So
together
these
then.
guys have decided to declare, and look at my face here. I'm not surprised, I'm disappointed in myself because I left it undefended for one fucking unit. One unit. I needed one unit to get a full stack, and I could not stop thinking about how great my army was gonna be. And they came. In the darkness of night, they invaded our lands, and they want us to call Pergamon for help. But Pergamon doesn't fucking matter, they can't get there. So my first thought is, fuck, I can't retreat and I don't want to lose this navy. My second thought is, they don't have great units and they don't have a lot of cav. I can probably take out maybe a quarter of their army before I retake with that garrison army next turn. That's exactly what I'm thinking. A lot of Illyrian spearmen. That's good news for us. For every one pikeman, I'm taking out fucking 4 Illyrian spearmen. Especially without all the missiles and missile cav units flying around and shit, we're good. I don't think they had any missile cav. I'm just depressed that I put myself in this position in that moment, but I'm gonna fight it. You gotta step out on the field, gotta be a man, gotta embrace the Dalmatian, the Dalmatei, the Blades, allied by the Raiders. We got Poseidon's Chosen coming up on our shores to hopefully rain fucking hell on these motherfuckers and defend this area, but we'll see how this goes. Immediately, I think I was thinking about docking these guys and using them to. We have missile advantage, so I need to really abuse that here. It's just tough because I have 2 units to really work with.
Orders understood.
I'm just setting this up as best as I can. Nothing's gonna really work here. They got that army plus another full stack coming in from a different direction, so there is no way we can defend this area. All we can do is try to put a dent in some of their units and get prepared for the takeover next turn.
By your command.
And with your mob units, when you're in these desperate positions, the only thing I'm really thinking about doing with my mob units is getting them out the way. They're really just meant to harass with my skirmishers, cause they're like, imagine if this is boxing, my skirmishers are lightweight, right? The mob is like, those units or your levy units are basically strawweight, featherweight. So you really don't want to put them in any real reason to rout, because all that's going to do is hurt the morale for your army. You don't want to put them in any reason to rout. They're good blob units if you're putting them in the back of a blob.
Slingers, mob. Orders
I'm just trying to get them at a choke point. Maybe catch them slipping if I can, but they're sending their cavalry first. Not problematic, but it prevents my skirmishers from going anywhere alone. So I guess it is problematic, but I like that they send in their cavalry first, because then I can just decimate their cavalry. And they're splitting their army up to attack us from 2 sides that way. They're gonna do the same thing here, so I don't even have 4 melee units. I have 2 melee units and 2 strawweights, so. I'm just trying to get these guys there faster, because we're already getting engaged.
Orders.
Should take him off skirmish, but I didn't.
Javelin men. At the double. Swingers. Javelin men. Understood. At the double. At 5 such speed.
Okay, so things are getting interesting. I know I gotta move these guys into position too, so I'm trying to make them feel like real soldiers here, not like angry mob. But again, that shit is gonna shred. I need to. Let's just see what I do here. Let me not overtalk. Let's just see what I do.
Quick march. Advance at speed.
These pikemen will hold up against the swordsmen, and I think those are levies and swordsmen, or they're levies and hoplites. So my navy has arrived. That means the artillery's here. So now I just need to blob up and just let fucking cannon rain fire on these fuckers. Like just straight from. But really the positioning is what matters here, because you'll see, I'll try to get as close as I can, but they won't react. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about, I think, in a second. Yeah, and now all I'm trying to do here is just get these guys in position, because there's so many things going on where I don't know if my naval units are really responding the way they should be. Not my artillery units, but like I said, you'll see with my other missile units, they're not really responding. Not really helping us here. Pikemen putting in that fucking work. The mob they've already retreated. And there's nothing I can do. There's no flexibility I can really have here. Other than docking my naval units, just watch the city burn. This was a suicide mission from the jump. These boys knew what was happening. They're gonna break there. And they're completely surrounded and they know it, so they're gonna break too. So now I just try to have some type of decimation of units with my artillery, and you'll see how this goes here.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display. Stop!
And that's a prime example of what I'm talking about right there, where I expected them to be able to just fire just from proximity, but for some reason they all weren't doing that. This is also another kind of interesting tactic that the AI implements when you're fighting these battles where you have naval units involved. They'll just kind of stand at the shore and like have like a awkward Mexican standoff with you. It's very weird. And then shuffle around a little bit in different areas, but they'll stay in range of where you can hit them.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
So I go ahead and I think, okay, no, I don't. I thought I was going to concede defeat. That didn't happen. So maybe don't know what I'm waiting for here. I think I'm just explaining shit, but I'm pretty sure I'm just agitated and I'm not trying to sit through what I was just doing. I don't want to do that anymore, so I think I'm just waiting for this to end. Yeah, I can see defeat. Yeah. I think I thought I was gonna lose my naval units because I did this. So it was very surprising to see that I did not lose that navy. Not sure why. Usually when you lose a city and you have any units fighting that city, in that city, and you can't retreat with no movement points type of thing, usually you lose all the units there once they take the city. And as you can see here, the circumstances were slightly different but more the same. I lost all of that army. Lost all of my garrison army. Well, that was my garrison navy and my garrison army, right? But I got to leave with my navy. They got to just sail away. And it makes complete sense.
Retreat! Retreat! Stopping for now.
Definitely take the 45% max factional mercenary replenishment rate. Even though I don't have a lot of mercenaries, no reason not to take that for my elephants. And the Irvishi still have not declared war on us, which is a good sign, but it's still troublesome, I cannot lie. I'm thinking, should I go help? Should I put him back in the army or should I go scout? I think there was more mercs in that army, that's why I'm sending her that way, to free up some money, because we just lost some with our city being taken. Yeah, and I don't know what to do here. I'm getting frustrated. Cause it wasn't supposed to go like this. As you can see, I just lost all my movement points by putting that agent there. So now I can't run away. I think my goal was to get the fuck out of there, and now I'm stuck. I can't leave my army just stranded, y'all. So I have to be some type of crackhead because I made this little Epirus, little Tarantino fucking transition storyline chapter scene text. And I'm like, should I keep it in here? Because I did it for the thumbnail, right? I'm just trying to get, ways to, bring in more views, all those things, right? And then I see it and I'm like, I kind of like this. And I think it'd be cool if y'all were watching. Why am I still talking? Y'all want to hear the video? Anyways, yeah, I had the decision to take it out and I didn't because I liked it stylistically. And it's only 3 seconds. And here I am talking to y'all. Love y'all. Peace. Bye. Trying to sweeten the deal. Like, yo, go to war with these guys up north. And I'll give you gold or whatever you're looking for. But I don't have a lot of gold to give them. Plus, they have too much gold. So they don't give a fuck. Their friends in title alone.
My time is better spent feasting and hunting than listening. So be quick with your chattering.
I'm thinking about just piecing out.
Ready for battle.
I mean, but we really survived the worst, right? We got to keep our navy. And I'm ready for part 2. I'm ready for part 2 of this motherfucking battle because they're not going to take our land. Especially when we kind of, I mean, it's my fault that this happened, but at the same time, it needed to happen. So we ripped the band-aid off, we lost the city for a turn or two, and now we got to fight to get it back. Simple as that. Went down the philosophy tree.
Make haste, men.
Moving my guys into position, got the full stack I was doing all that for. And I choose to simply auto-resolve it here, I think. I don't think I lost any units. Did I not check to see if I lost any units on my naval units? No? Okay. So I got that back, and now the thought is, do we just march straight into their land and take their capital? They went back with some of their army, so they didn't stay here. They knew retaliation was imminent. Yeah, so they went back with some of their army, and now they're getting back up to full health. But this is where we want it to be. We want it to be at war on our terms. This is back to our terms. We got our city back. Our gold came back immediately. They didn't have time to destroy anything, but we did lose what we were building there. So I lost that money. That's like 1,000. That's almost like, what, 10,000 gold we just threw down the drain? But that's what happens, man. We're at war. What the fuck do you expect? Our citizens are still kind of cool, though. We're still overtaxing them, and the public order is at 0 with a full garrison there. So nothing too much. Excuse me for that rude phone call that just popped up. This is when I realized the damage that was done. Did I bring him back in the army? I don't know if I brought him back. I think I sent him on another reconnaissance mission. Yeah, he went to go scout some more. I wanted to know where that second army went. So he went to their land. They went to help his capital, and I guess he went to defend their capital, which is fine because they're at war with 2 different factions, so it makes sense. But now I'm really assessing how we can do this, because now I see it's these 3 armies plus the garrison. And the garrison plus that army inside the city is taking attrition every turn, as are we.
For the gods! At your command. Get the states up! For death and honor!
Damn, I was heavily considering it. Whatever little epilogue I'm going on here, it's really just me just speaking on my frustration of the situation. So that means, and look, Rome is already advancing. So the Massilia learn quick, you can't just sit, because they're right next door. The Nori is still cool with them, but a little less. As you can see, that relationship is getting hurt. Rome is going to start turning on their side to take that land now. The only safe possibility is for Rome to expand east, north and east. They gave up the south to the Greeks and the Africans, so there's nothing that they can do at that point just yet. I'm going to go ahead and close out the episode here, guys, because I don't think I do anything else for the remainder of the episode. I'll still let the last minute and a half play. But yeah, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. And I've got another episode coming, so don't be worried about that. I also am in preparation to film episode 2 of that Sid Meier's Civ 5 Ethiopia campaign that I started. So yeah, be on the lookout for both of those things. And I'm wishing you guys a great new year. Again, I appreciate y'all for being a part of the journey thus far. I know I've been pretty much as inconsistent as I've ever been on this Epirus campaign. But that's life, and we're persevering, we're pushing through. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.